So to me, ocean literacy is understanding the natural systems, understanding cause and effect, and understanding the impact that we have on the ocean systems, understanding what that system is, and understanding how we can change our behavior to mitigate or improve or reduce our effect ultimately. And my belief is that the ocean that we leave alone is the ocean that thrives best.
And how do we communicate that to a wide audience? We've had a discussion here about.
I don't think you can communicate necessarily targeted messages to a wide audience very successfully, but I'm not a communications expert. I think you need to target your message to specific audiences and tailor it for those audiences. That might be a better approach.
You're involved in this project. What would you like to see happen at the end of it?
I'd like to see a set of tools, a set of communication tools, games, films, things that have a longevity, that speak to a wide range of people and that are applicable across a broad range of regions. Things that we can customize for different regions, different languages, that we can continue to deploy after the project is over and that have a meaningful impact on people.
So for me, ocean literacy means that people are aware of the ocean, know the importance of the ocean, also know the challenges of the ocean and the role that they play, and then personally are able to actually play a positive role in protecting our oceans. That, in short, is ocean literacy to me. So it's knowing the oceans, but it's also doing something. For me, there's an active component to being ocean literate.
And how do you define what that active component is?
Well, I think what important is that you have the active component depends on who you are. And we work with people working at sea, so fishermen, seafarers. So as a seafarer, you have a different active component than for somebody living in a city. So it depends on who you are. And that's actually one of the things we try to do in our courses. We try to get them to realize which positive influence they can have on the ocean. Seafarers don't throw litter overboard, for example. And understanding what the issue is and understanding why it's important not to do it. And then hopefully the attitude is, I will not do that anymore. So it depends on the person and their position and their role.
Ocean literacy. Well, that's a matter of understanding, and we are not one by one word translating, but we are describing that. Describing means what is the understanding about education, about knowledge and information. But it's not only that, it's also raising the awareness so that people know what to do and the understanding of the significance of the ocean, but also trying to change their behavior towards improvement for, let's say, future clean and sustainable seas. That's the idea behind.
You work in industry, I think.
Yes.
And what is the role of industry in ocean literacy?
Well, our role of industry is dealing with plastics as a material for any different kind of application. So a typical application, is, for example, the packaging application, and packaging is very closely related to the consumers. So it's a short-time product, and people need to be trained what they do on a short-time basis. So they need to properly manage that. And our position about that is very clear, namely that we do not want to have any of this packaging waste end up in the landscape, be it the ocean or on the inner land. So therefore we have to encounter the problems which we see in the oceans or on the land. And we have to train and educate, communicate, raise awareness, sit together in dialogue and conferences so that we reach a more sustainable procedure for the future.
To me, ocean literacy is how we capture people's imagination about the seas and how we use that imagination to motivate them to make a difference in how they behave towards the ocean, perhaps in their everyday lives through their lifestyle choices, how they dispose of waste perhaps, but ultimately it's about making a difference to the quality of the ocean.
Are there some examples of where this has worked, where ocean literacy has been created or seized upon?
That's a hard question.
Well, let me try rephrasing.
Yeah.
Well, then, that's general, but how do you get there? How do you actually, what are the steps that you need to take to create ocean literacy?
Well, I think we need to distinguish between literacy, as in people's understanding of the oceans and their relationship with it, so being literate about the oceans, to distinguish between that and a behaviour change. So in order to get to the stage of literacy, we need to feed in relevant knowledge and ideas into people. But in order to generate a behaviour change, we need to ensure that that information and that knowledge is fed to them in a way that creates motivation and creates some catalyst for change. And that change might be taking different decisions about their life and their interaction with the ocean that they perhaps had done previously.
And there's a distance between knowledge and action. Do you have any suggestions about how ResponSEAble might bridge that gap?
So there's something called the knowledge action gap, which is, people don't necessarily make action or change behaviours as a result of being more knowledgeable. We know that from lots of different fields and parts of life, such as most people know that smoking is bad for them, but people still keep on smoking. So what can ResponSEAble to bridge that knowledge action gap? Well, it needs to understand the motivations people have for making a behaviour change and make sure that the knowledge or information that we produce through this project actually speaks to those motivations so that we give the behaviour change the greatest chance it has to be successful.
Ocean literacy means for me much more than owning a certain degree of knowledge about the interactions within the ocean or between the ocean and human beings and the sphere outside the ocean, but more feeling responsible for the ocean and having some emotional attachments to the ocean as well. And finally, the final stage that should be included in ocean literacy is really acting towards harming the state of the ocean less.
To me, ocean literacy is understanding and becoming aware that us as humans, we are part of the ocean, of the ecosystem, of the marine ecosystems, because we interact with them, we use it, we enjoy them, we have an impact on them. So becoming aware of all of this will help us to behave in a more sustainable manner.
To me, ocean literacy means informed understanding that our everyday choices have an impact to oceans, even if we live on land and far from coastal areas. Our choices and actions are still having an impact on ocean ecosystems.
I think that we have a very big responsibility respect the future generation, and I will do all my best to leave a clean sea and a better way to respect all the life on our planet.
Ocean literacy to me, ocean literacy, to be an ocean literate person, I think one needs to understand enough about the system or the problem to start caring about it and to make a change, to make things different, to change behavior, to inspire others, to bring the change.
To me, ocean literacy is a very complex topic, but really what it means is how do you get people to care about the oceans and their connection to the oceans? We're not just land-based animals, we rely on ocean ecosystems. And to get people to care, you have to connect the story about the oceans to them in a very direct and meaningful way. And so in this project, there are lots of ways that we're trying to do that. And I think that the bottom line is that you need knowledge, you need to figure out who you want to talk to, and you need to make that emotional connection that'll make people care.
Ocean literacy to me is a foundation and the building block of the bridge connecting via the skills in the blue economy, the blue growth. Basically, the more young people, kids and professionals are ocean literate, the more they are motivated and inspired to obtain the skills in the blue economy, which then consequently will contribute to the blue growth to the growth in the blue economy. That's, to me, is the ocean literacy.
Can I ask you what the blue economy is?
Blue economy are all the different industry areas which are connected to the seas and to the oceans. It's renewable energy farms, it's a marine aquaculture, this is a shipping, and all the various sectors connected to the ocean.